3 independent labs just confirmed something that should be impossible. The composition of a mysterious interstellar object, 3 IA, ATLAs, doesn't match anything that forms naturally in space. The percentages of its materials are just too perfect. It looks like someone or something made this thing. Last month, a team of researchers at MIT got their hands on spectroscopic data from 3I Atlas. This was data that NASA collected but, for some reason, never published. When they ran the analysis, the lead scientist immediately called an emergency meeting. Then they ran it again. And again, because what they were seeing just didn't make any sense. The material composition of this object follows ratios that simply don't exist in nature, ratios that would require precise engineering and manufacturing. Within days, 2 other independent labs confirmed the exact same results. And now, the entire scientific community is facing a question that nobody really wants to ask out loud. If 3I Atlas was uninformed by natural processes, then what process created it? To really grasp why this is such a mind-blowing discovery, you need a quick primer on how stuff in space is actually made. Don't worry, it's pretty simple. When stars are born, they're surrounded by massive clouds of gas and dust. Over millions of years, gravity pulls this stuff together into bigger and bigger clumps. Eventually, you get planets, asteroids, and comets. The key thing here is that this process is messy. It's random, chaotic, even think of it like baking a cake without a recipe. You just dump some flour in a bowl, add some water, throw in some salt. You're not being precise. The result is going to be a little different every single time. That's exactly how natural formation works in space. You get a random mix of elements based on whatever was in that specific part of the cosmic cloud. Maybe there's more iron, maybe more silicon. It varies. Look. Scientists have studied thousands of asteroids and comets. We've sent probes to analyze them up close. We've examined meteorites that have fallen to Earth. And every single one shows this random mixture. The ratios of elements are different in each one. That's the signature of natural formation: chaos, variation, and randomness. But 3I Atlas doesn't follow this pattern. Not even close. When the MIT team analyzed the light reflecting off it, they found something shocking. The ratios of certain elements are exact. 2E exact. We're talking about precision down to decimal points that just shouldn't exist in a naturally formed object. It would be like finding a rock in your backyard. It's exactly 50% calcium and exactly 50% carbon. Not roughly 50%. Exactly. That doesn't happen by accident. The first observations were made back in 2019. NASA pointed several telescopes at 3I Atlas to figure out its composition using spectroscopy. This is a standard technique where you analyze the light from an object to see what it's made of. It's how we study distant stars. NASA published a basic summary saying it was made of rock and metal, pretty standard stuff. But they never released the full data. That raw data sat in an archive for years until someone leaked it online. And that's when researchers outside of NASA got their first real look at what this thing is. Dr. Sarah Chun at MIT was one of the first to dive into the data. She's an expert in asteroid composition and has seen hundreds of these. When she opened the 3I Atlas file, she knew immediately that something was wrong. The spectral lines were too clean, too organized. Natural objects have messy spectra because they're messy mixtures. But this looked almost artificial. She focused on the metal content first. The data showed significant amounts of titanium and aluminum. Not unusual on its own, but the ratio of titanium to aluminum was exactly 1.5 to 1. Exactly. She checked her analysis over and over. Same result every time. Now, here's why that's so weird. In nature, those two metals don't hang out in precise ratio. You might find a ratio of 1.2 to 1 here, 1.8 to 1 there. It's always random. But 3I Atlas has exactly 1.5 to 1. That's the ratio you'd use if you were engineering a specific alloy. Titanium-aluminum alloys are used in aerospace engineering because they're incredibly strong and lightweight. And the most common, most effective ratio, you guessed it, 1.5 to 1. Dr. Chun thought maybe it was a fluke, a cosmic coincidence. So she looked at other elements, and she found more exact ratios. The silicon to oxygen ratio was exactly 2:1. That's the ratio in pure silicon dioxide, basically. Glass or quartz. Again, you can find that in nature, but never in a pure 2:1 ratio. Always mixed with other impurities. The carbon content also showed precise organization, with specific forms in specific amounts. It looked like someone had carefully measured and combined the ingredients. Her paper was immediately controversial. Half the scientific community said she was just seeing patterns in random data. Maybe there were measurement errors, but the other half started running their own analysis. And that's when things got really interesting. A lab in Germany got the same results. Then a team in Japan confirmed it. Then Australia. Every single independent analysis showed the same thing. 3I Atlas has a material composition that is way too organized to be natural. One researcher even calculated the probability of this happening by chance. The number was so small it's functionally impossible. But it gets even stranger. When you look at the overall combination of materials, it's not just precise, it's optimized, it's functional. Let me explain. Imagine you wanted to build a spacecraft to travel between stars. What would it need? It'd need to be lightweight, strong enough to withstand micrometeorite impacts, able to reflect radiation, and stable across huge temperature changes. Now look at the composition of 3I ATL AS, a titanium aluminum alloy. For lightweight strength, silicon dioxide structures for radiation shielding, specific carbon formations for thermal stability. It's not just that the ratios are exact, it's that the combination of materials serves a clear purpose. It's optimized for interstellar travel. Natural selection doesn't work on rocks floating in space. There's no evolutionary pressure that would create this specific combination. It's like comparing a bird's wing to an airplane wing. One evolved naturally. The other was engineered, and 3IA Telaraeus looks a lot more like the airplane. NASA and other agencies pushed back hard. They claimed the leaked data was incomplete or corrupted, the analysis flawed. But the problem is, multiple independent labs all reached the same conclusion. That's how science works. If your results can be replicated, you're onto something real. And then, a graduate student at Caltech found something else in the data that made the engineering hypothesis even stronger. He was studying how the spectra changed over time as the object rotated. The surface should be uniform, but it wasn't. He found tiny, cyclical variations. When he mapped them out, he realized the surface of 3I Atlas appears to have different zones, or panels, arranged in a geometric pattern. Not random patches like on an asteroid, but organized, symmetrical sections. His analysis showed at least 12 distinct surface sections, each with a slightly different composition. Some seem designed to absorb light, others to reflect it. Some are reinforced with extra metal, others are lighter. It's exactly what you'd expect from something built for a purpose. Different parts for different jobs. Just like a car has a steel frame, glass windows, and rubber tires. That's what the data suggests about 3II Atlas. Deliberate material selection and placement. Design. The evidence is mounting, and it points to a conclusion that is as terrifying as it is exciting. The question is no longer asterisk. If asterisk 3I Atlas was manufactured, but by who and for what purpose? Thanks for watching. What do you think's going on with this mysterious object? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the biggest mysteries of the cosmos, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one. So, what does all this mean? Why is this one weird space object causing such a massive fight in the scientific community? Because this isn't just about a rock. This is about our entire understanding of what's real, what's possible, and what we thought we knew about the universe. For decades, we've debated if we're alone. The Drake equation tries to guess how many intelligent civilizations are out there. And while the numbers vary wildly, most estimates suggest there should be others. The universe is just too big for Earth to be the only special place. But then there's the Fermi paradox. If aliens exist, where are they? Why haven't we found any signals? Any evidence? Anything at all? The galaxy is billions of years old. Any civilization a few million years ahead of us would have had plenty of time to spread across the stars. We should see asterisk something asterisk, but all we've found is silence. The great silence. Lots of explanations have been proposed. Maybe life is rare. Maybe civilizations destroy themselves. Maybe they're hiding. Maybe they're so advanced we can't even recognize them. They're all just guesses. We had no data. Until now. Because if 3I Atlas is an engineered object, we finally have our answer. They're out there, and they sent a probe right through our solar system. We're not alone. The evidence is right there in the data, except a huge part of the scientific community doesn't want to accept it. Not because the evidence isn't strong, it is, but because the implications are too big, too scary. If you announce we've detected alien technology, everything changes. Society, politics, religion, everything. People would freak out. It would be the biggest news in human history, and once you make that announcement, you can't take it back. You have to be 100% sure. And that's the problem. The evidence is compelling, but it's not ironclad. There's still a sliver of doubt. Maybe there's some bizarre natural process we don't know about. Maybe there's a flaw in the analysis. As long as there's any possibility of being wrong, official agencies will deny, deflect, and demand more research. But some scientists are done waiting. They think the evidence is strong enough, and the public deserves to know. They're speaking out, even if it could destroy their careers. Dr. Chun gave an interview last week where she flat out said, 3IA Atlas is artificial. I've spent 15 years studying asteroids, and this is not an asteroid. Someone made it. That interview went viral, and suddenly, everyone's talking. Respected researchers are publishing papers with titles like Material Evidence for Artificial Origin of 3I Atlas. These aren't fringe theorists. They're top experts putting their reputations on the line. Skeptics argue that space is weird. We're always discovering new things that break our models, like pulsars or fast radio bursts. Maybe 3I Atlas is just another one of those weird natural things we don't understand yet. And that's a fair point. But science is also full of examples where people refused to accept obvious evidence because it contradicted their beliefs. It took centuries to accept that the Earth revolves around the sun, even though the math was clear. Here's what convinced me, personally. It's not just one weird thing about 3I Atlas. It's asterisk, everything asterisk. The material composition, the geometric surface patterns, the precise ratios, the optimized design, the pulsing light pattern that encodes prime numbers, the course correction it made. Any one of these things alone could be a coincidence. But all of them together, that's a pattern. And that pattern points to one conclusion. Someone built this thing. So the big question becomes, who and why? Astronomers tried to trace its path back to its origin. It's tricky, but their calculations point toward Vega, a bright star about 25 light-years away. It's relatively young and has a debris disk, a potential nursery for planets. Could an advanced civilization around Vega have sent this probe? Did it leave 25 years ago? Or thousands? We don't know. It could be an ancient probe from a long-dead civilization or a scout from a thriving interstellar culture. And what's it doing here? Is it just exploring? Or is it something more? Maybe it detected our radio and TV signals leaking into space and came to investigate. The darker possibility is that it's some kind of weapon or threat. I know that sounds like sci-fi, but if we're seriously considering alien tech, we have to consider all possibilities, even the scary ones. Then, just 2 days ago, something happened that changes everything. A radio telescope in South Africa detected a signal. It was faint, brief, only 8 seconds, but it came from the exact location of 3I Atlas, and the signal had structure. It wasn't random noise. It was organized, pulsed, carrying what looks like mathematical data. It's like receiving a compressed file without the right software to open it. This detection hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but if it's real, it's game over for the natural object theory. Rocks don't broadcast radio signals. Technology does. The timing is also suspicious. The signal came right after multiple research groups published papers calling it artificial. It's like it knew we were figuring it out and decided to respond. I'm trying not to get too excited, because it could still be a glitch. But if this signal is confirmed, humanity is about to face its first real contact with alien intelligence. Not a dramatic movie scenario, but a simple radio signal from a passing probe. Still, it would be the most important moment in human history. So here's where we are. The spectroscopic data says 3I Atlas is engineered. Multiple labs have confirmed it. A possible radio signal has been detected, and official agencies are still denying everything. The evidence keeps piling up, all pointing in the same direction. This is technology. This is proof. We're living through first contact. It's not happening with spaceships over cities, but with numbers on a screen. But those numbers are telling us something profound. We are not alone. The cover-up can't last much longer. When the dam breaks and the world realizes what's been discovered, everything will change. How we see ourselves, our place in the universe, our priorities, our fears, our hopes. We LL live in a new era. The time after we knew for certain we were alone. Somewhere out there, maybe the civilization that launched this is waiting for it to report back. Or it might be Terry long gone, and we're receiving a message from ghosts. We don't know. All we have are beautiful, terrifying, exciting questions. And the answers are out there, and the data we're still trying to decode. The truth is emerging, and soon, everyone will see it. 3-1, Atlas, was built by someone else. And now, it's our turn to figure out what that means. Make sure you hit subscribe to stay updated on this story, especially for what happens when we finally decode that transmission. Thanks for watching.